my neighbours, good citizens all, I thank you for coming and heeding the call. Let's rally the people and bring them all near. Sing out our songs for the whole world to hear. This is the cradle of all that we are. This is the heart of the storm. This is the ground where the future was born. This here is Anvil and this is our home. Each song that we sing and each story we tell, each hero we name and each life that we sell, each breath and each beat of your heart is a beat of the drum. Give me drink in my cup and friends who will share it, song on my lips and ears that'll hear it, fire in my eyes to light all the good people I see. I tell you, my friends, there's nowhere that I'd rather be. Before 10 in the morning, we're barely alive. We're like ghosts, we're like spirits, and then coffee arrives. Then heroes awaken and stand by your side. Now gather your courage and sing out your pride. But the storm will not break us, although it may try. The sun may be down and may bake the world dry, but we stand by our neighbours and raise them up tall. Gather your voices and scream out the call. For you are my empire and you are my hall. For you I would fight and for you I would fall. For you are the beat of my heart and the heart of my song. Give me drink in my cup and friends who will share it, song on my lips and ears that'll hear it, fire in my eyes to light all the good people I see. I tell you, my friends, there's nowhere that I'd rather be. So fill up your tankards and fill up your lungs.
Well, hopefully this is all working. Hello, everybody. Welcome to... it feels like a very long time since I've done a nation-specific chat with anyone. Because all of the Empire streams seem to have merged into... We just talk about everything Empire. And we don't focus on one thing. Pete's commented beard, so well done, Lee. You have a fan.
He's got a fantastic beard himself.
Pete really, really does. He really does. Oh, and Debbie Harry's there as well. Excellent stuff. This is what I like to see. So, yeah. So, Mark actually messaged me to say, did I fancy doing this? And so it goes for everyone. If you fancy chatting about something, I'm always up for it. So, and talking on stream too. Wow, that joke really fell dead. I'm so proud of myself. So yeah, so it's going to be really nice actually to talk about all the orcs again because I believe the man, the myth, the legend, isn't Sam Wheatley's now your general, isn't he?
Oh, he is.
Yeah, he is. And he's been playing an orc for how many minutes?
One event?
One event.
2, I think.
Is it 2?
Oh, 2, sorry, yeah.
Fallen on his feet. That's awesome. No, really, because obviously losing Sparrow and then doing well. That's really good to hear. That's really, really good to hear. So, yeah, orcs are an odd one. I've started my entire stream backwards, which is normal, I guess. So we're going to do this stream. I don't know what I'm streaming on Friday. And then next week, I probably won't be streaming for 2 weeks. Because I know I'm away for Christmas, seeing various people. But if I'm back and I've got an evening free, I will stream and just do other random shit with people, I guess. And that's so that's all that is. Any money made by the channel goes towards the Extreme Makeover the third. I'm hoping that I get someone who wants to become an orc as a brand new player who wants to do the makeover, because that will put me in a wonderful position where I actually get to grab an orc and say, come and do this, because you'll know it better. So, but I've got a lot of mystery surrounding this makeover, because I've got potential celebrity makeover person to do something, victim I should say, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Please say, as an orc general, he has his nips covered this time. I don't think Sam ever has his nips covered. Oh my god, he could have little nipple tassels. Little nipple tassels.
Little leather ones.
Yeah.
little bits of scale mail just hanging there.
Mm. Oh dear. It wouldn't be Sam if he did. It wouldn't be Sam if he did. Helen's asked, how does that beard fit under an orc mask?
Quite well, because as you see, the chin is out of them.
All right.
So then what you got to do, you got to put it into a ponytail, and then put your mask on, and then pull the ponytail through, and then let the beard free.
Never thought of doing that. Even when I had my beard at its longest, I never thought of doing that while monstering or anything.
Well, Stag had this white bit I had all plaited when I was Stag, and then the rest of the beard was just everywhere.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it's the masks are an interesting one, I have to admit. So, well, first of all, you do need to make introductions, because neither of you have ever been on stream before.
Nope.
So we'll start with Lee. If you want to do a little introduction, tell us who you are. Tell everybody who you are, what you do, where you're from.
All right, I'm Lee Thomas. I'm from Somerset. I'm 52, and well, I've been the Imperial Orc now since 2019.
Nice.
I've been in the Iron Tide for this time until E4 last event when I died. So, and I'm still staying an Imperial Orc.
Nice.
So.
Nice. That's really cool. And Mark.
I'm Mark from Southampton, 34. You probably all know me as Renegade Badger on the Discord. Started being an orc this year, first time Empire character, and went straight in the deep end. I was Stormcrow Dag. Had a great time. I was a Reaver. Just messed around, got drunk, done plenty of silly things. Plenty of silly things. And yeah, he's now retired, and I'll be going at E1 as Ironside Bane.
Nice.
Can I just say, I actually recruited him into the Ironside, and I've died.
Yeah,
that sucks.
Mortally wounded.
That sucks. That really, really does suck. It's yeah. So Mark has been around the streams and everything for like 14 months now, I think, give or take, about just over a year. Yeah, quite definitely active in chat in the streams and stuff like that. It's been, and got to know Mark quite well, and Lee, funny enough, we used to message each other on Facebook quite a bit, and we've always missed each other until this year. Yeah. I think, was it E2? Was it, or is it
E2?
E2, yeah. We actually got to meet each other properly for the first time, and actual face to face.
Yeah,
I would say it was emotional. The kissing was too far.
It was the tongue. The tongues just did me.
The beard's knotted. It wasn't pretty. We're all matted afterwards. But yeah, it was just one of those. It was a really, really nice moment, and it's a highlight of my year, to be honest. And I'm looking for next year. I'm going to do Dave.
Oh yes, yeah, definitely find Dave.
Need to find Dave.
So he's my new warlord, because I'm going over to the Bleak Shield with
yes.
Dave. So
That's the new lot, isn't it? That he started up.
that's it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's really really cool. So I think the best. Well, we've had questions already. Where was? All right, Helen's asked that one already. So Chris has asked which legion is best. Actually, second thoughts, it's the Reavers which are best.
Oh no, you can't say that. They're not a
Reavers-
legion.
Yeah, they're not a legion. It could be a second.
No, it's first. It's first now.
So what's the difference between the two legions then? Apart from the names.
Right. So the second legion is more like your grunts, like the regular army, and your first legion is more like your warriors and that sort of thing.
Isn't
Okay.
it as well? Where they originated from, I believe. The second was from up north, while the first was from
Yeah.
down south, wasn't it?
No clue. My knowledge of the orcs are like the rest of the game.
You've done no research
Minimal. I don't know what that word means. So no, it's my experience of a lot of the game when I started to do the whole channel thing was if I wanted to know, I'd do a stream and I'd ask, because it was great because you're talking to an idiot basically when we're doing these, and because I've got no clue. So it's really nice just to get people on who are essentially talking to a moron like me, and they explain it to it like they're talking to a child. It's great. So I think a good first question for you both then will be, so obviously Mark for 1 year, Lee for 3 years, even though it feels like you've been around forever. It's why the orcs? What made you both go for the orcs?
Why not? Why not?
But
Wow.
I'm a 27-year-old, 27-year reenactor. So I've been reenacting for a long time, and I basically my daughter decided to go LARPing, went to Empire, and I said, you know what? I said, "Look, of all the nations, I said the only thing I could be interested in would be the Imperial Orcs. And with that, we're at a reenactors fair, and Matt and Andy was there, and they went, well, funny enough, we're orcs. So I started chatting to them, and that's where I first came into it.
Hmm. Okay, that's cool. So it was sort of knowledge via family and then friends, and then they dragged you into it, which is
That's it. Yeah,
That's cool. What about you, Mark? So
I had the typical reenactors sense of why do I want to run around a field with a rubber sword? Do you know what I mean? It's like, why would I do that? And I did it and loved it. I'm hooked on it. It's terrible. But yeah, that was my
yeah,
attitude before. So
I found that really weird though, the whole combat situation and stuff like that. I literally turned up to fight. That was the only reason I came to Empire. So I thought,
yeah,
oh, I'm going to turn up. I'm going to be like a general, not general. I'm going to be a sergeant. I'm going to advise a general. I'm going to do military tactics, and I'm just going to fight all the time. And that was it. And then it took, I think it was 16 hours, 17 hours in game time, and I was a Navarre general, and I was involved in everything, and that was me done. I was hooked, absolutely hooked from the get go. It was
yeah.
absolutely crazy, absolutely crazy. Right, got it, Mark. So you said why not?
Yeah.
I can list you reasons.
I can tell you counters to all of them.
So, but go on. I want to hear why the orcs.
Well, at first I just wanted to get into doing Empire. I found it through doing leather work. Sort of led from one video to the next, and Empire. And then a group of friends were going to come with me because E1 fell over my birthday.
Yeah.
And so we thought we'll go Wintermark. It'd be nice and easy, just fall in. And each one of them flaked out over the time. And I was watching loads of Orcs Planet, and then I was met Matt and Andy again at Watch Your Game, and they just went, dude, just be an orc. So I did. It's what I really felt like I wanted to do. I done it, committed to it, made my kit, turned up, and I say my birthday was on the Thursday at E1.
Mm.
I said to Tom Keeley, Do you want a tequila shot? He went, why? It's my birthday. No, okay. And then I end up pouring tequila for everyone in the camp, at which point everyone in the camp sang happy birthday to me, and we all drank tequila. It was incredible. It was the best sort of welcome to a nation that you could ask for, really.
There is a definite vibe and feeling around the Orc camp that you get in other. I'd say you get in other nations, but it's not other nations; it's other groups within nations. So you'd go into places and you'd be like, okay, I don't feel great at being around this group of people in this nation. But you go into another group within that nation and you'd be like, oh, this feels like family. This feels really nice. And you should, but you don't get that within the groups within the Orcs. You get it within the nation as an absolute whole. And I think my first experience proper with the Orcs was, funny enough, when Mac and Stag ate rocks. And because I was there with, I think it was Lily. She was going around asking all the questions about everything ever, and doing her thing, and we were just, and everyone was just chatting, and I was asking about drugs, and everybody, I was being sent from pillar to post, but there was no, oh, we want to offload this person, we want to talk to this person, and the lady, I can't remember her name, and it's going to annoy me, not Zora. Plays an older orc lady, long dreaded hair. I think it's white hair.
That would be Zora.
It was Zora.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her watching how she was with Lily as well. So Lily would have been 13 at that time, was incredible, and her behaviour with everybody in the Orcs, not Lily but Zora, was absolutely phenomenal to watch. And she gave off a real Mama Orc vibe, which is something you don't really find anywhere else. It feels more like a family and a community than anything else in the Orcs, and I think that is a wonderful, wonderful thing that the Orcs have got.
It's a camaraderie.
It's a shared suffering as well from the mask.
Yeah, shared
It
suffering.
really is. Yeah.
Yeah. After that first half hour, when you got that layer of sweat just inside your mask, yeah, that's the worst bit.
Or
But after that, it's tolerable. You know, it's a good bit of role play. Basically, you got your mask on. As soon as the mask goes on, you're your character, and that is the role play you get.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So if we go for for complete noobs, so I'll say this to everyone in chat: if you don't know anything about the Orcs and wanna know something, just ask away. There are no stupid questions, just stupid people. That's my favourite quote from South Park, and it was one that will stay with me forever. So yeah, go for it. Ask all the questions in the world. So within the Orcs, then you've got First Legion, Second Legion. Jazz, hey, thank you for subbing. 17 months, you crazy person. That's just insanity. So you've got the First Legion, Second Legion, and you've got the Reavers as they're the three groups that you pick from, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
And then
within those you've got banners.
Yeah.
So and you different groups and different banners, like the Iron Tide. They wear heavy armor. They're normally the wrecking ball of the nation. So they'll be sent in, hit the lines either in a bore snout or as a column, and then pull back out, and then more people go in afterwards. So, and it's just it's different banners got different functions throughout the nation, but it's the tightness of the actual nation that holds it together as well.
Yeah. So, because I think my experiences with the Orcs were mainly with the Iron Tide. Then you had the Skywise as well. The Gate Renders I remember quite fondly until they all died.
Yeah.
So
last one died last event, I think.
Yeah, it was the brick.
Yes. Yeah.
Debbie Harry has asked, do you find it easy to engage and vibe with other nations?
As Stag, Stag didn't really like humans that much. He tolerated them. Um, so, but yeah, I, I I was just in people's faces all the time, and I just wanted to fight. And so to to get into people's faces gave people role play. So
Mm.
yeah, to do it to approach a human, it was no problem really. Especially if I've got another orc by the side of me, because it gives me that extra strength. Because we bounce off of each other then.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's cool to know. So, did you find it easier to go into like a one nation more than other nations? Were there nations that you would go, nope, can't be asked with them, don't want to be near them?
Um, because my mentor was Locke,
Mm,
who was a slave of Varushka, I didn't enter into Varushka. I think the only time I entered into it was in E4, but I had different ancestors in my head at the time, and I frightened some Varushkan who was on the floor because I wanted his soul, basically. He didn't know quite what to do because I just got this orc standing over the top and he's saying, "I want to use your body as a vessel." That was it.
that's awesome. Thanks, Chris. Subbing for 15 months. You're an idiot as well. I shouldn't be insulting people who are subscribing to me, really, but you know, Varushkan souls good with chips. Oh, he's admitted he's an idiot. Cheers, Chris. Yeah. Okay. So what about you, Mark? How did you find it with your? Well, obviously you're now coming in as Bane. So
Yeah.
with your old character, how did you
As
find going to all the nations?
as Dag, it was really easy. I was a trader. So it was if you didn't talk to other people, you really just didn't do anything. You just left with a load of gear that you needed to sell. Um, so yeah, I just didn't like going to Dawn really. I just felt they're very standoffish and insulting in lots of ways. Although they were very hospitable in other ways. But it's
Mm,
just my least favourite place to go. Brass Coast was generally my sort of hangout. It's
yeah.
just a good vibe down there.
Yeah.
Or Varushka.
Okay. That's interesting.
Well,
Um,
the marchers actually are incredible with the orcs. They love the orcs,
Yeah, they do.
yeah.
They're really good.
especially at the Black Rat.
See, the marchers are a weird one, I find, because the marchers slag everyone off, but everyone who goes there, they are treated incredibly well. The marchers are just a weird nation. I love them for it, though. Al, sorry, mate. See, the perfect example of that is that me and Al were in the Star Bar last event, and we wanted to buy each other a drink in character. So as soon as we were offering to buy each other a drink, and it's like, no, I'll buy it, no, I'll buy it. It devolved into a shouting match of offering to buy each other a drink, and that for me typifies what the marches are. Loud hospitality, I think it is. Loud hospitality. I think that's probably the best way to describe them for me. So, okay, so you've got, so you're now Ironside Bane, and
Yeah.
Lee, your new character was joining Dave's banner in.
Yeah, so I'm going to be Bleak Shield Umok, and it's so I'm going to bring more Mongolian feel to it.
Okay, that's nice.
So I've got me my lamina here, which was a labour of love to actually make.
I can
Um,
imagine.
but I'm going to be heavy bow.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and then this is my new face. So
Oh, wow.
I even got the tash as well.
You've done a good job there.
So, well, Dave done the tattooing for me, but yeah,
Mm,
I put all the hair onto it and yeah, made all the hat and all that. That was
that's
yeah, that was my labour
phenomenal.
of love on that one. So
Yeah. Because I'm looking. I said to Matt and Andy when they return to the orcs, that's when I'll become an orc. I'll just
oh okay, yeah,
whatever goes on, they'll come back in, and they'll they'll find something weird and wonderful to do, and I can come in as I forget what I was going to be. Some sort of weird shaman pit fighter type thing who's a bit of a masochist. So more not so much interested in the fighting of other people, more interested in receiving the pain from other people. I think it just and then using that to do rituals and stuff like that or anything like that. So for everyone who knows me, I hate magic with an absolute passion. I don't do it. So this will be the time where I'm going to jump into it and I'm going to put a really weird spin on it. Because, why not?
Good way to go, yeah.
Yeah. So I've got the mask now, but I want to completely paint it and do something to it to make it stand out because it's very generic Orc number 3 at the moment. So I want to do something to it. It's got hair as well, which I have to admit I'm going to absolutely love in-game. I'm going to love having that in-game. Just sort of like, oh, look at this. Look at my lovely locks. I might dye him blonde. Yeah. A bleached, peroxide blonde orc. How's that?
I still remember getting my mask back from Kelly when she put the hair in it. It was just that, because I'm worth at the moment, you're just swooshing it everywhere. Absolutely incredible. Like, her hair work as well is on point.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say I will be asking a lot of questions when it comes to making the character and stuff like that. So, Liam has asked, what are the different roles within the Imperial Orcs? Like healers, fighters. Also, do you have many apothecaries? I don't think Toddy has ever seen any potion makers, so he's curious.
Yes, the Sand Vipers are they do venoms and different sorts, which is what my wife is. She plays Idra, one of the Sand Vipers. So yeah, the Sand Vipers are apothecaries and making poisons and everything else. But yeah, there's of course you've got the pit fighters and the shamans.
Yeah.
You've got the thief takers. They're like a militia. But yeah, so there's plenty of different roles throughout the nation.
So are these all the nation archetypes? Are they then within
Archetypes? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So how many are there within the Imperial Orcs? This will test you. I hope.
I'll leave that one to you, Mark.
Hang on a second.
He's googling it.
He's going to Google it now. You watch. He's going to go to the wiki.
You think I'm that committed? I just text people.
But yeah, so there is quite a lot with it. I mean, the orcs are a very deep, and I think if you play an orc, you're engrossed. You're stuck there, really, aren't you? You get so. I mean, you have to get stuck in to the role. You have to get stuck into the lore and to the knowledge of it all and things like that. There's no ways around it. So.
With the Imperial Orcs as well, see, they're very loyal to the Empire, because they 9 times out of 10 they won't break the law. I beat up one of the Egregores after after Yarn died, and I took myself down to the militia to hand myself in. With that, I'm got money put into my hand to pay the militia to say that I've this is what I've done for my fine. But yeah, my Egregore beat me to it. He was already there.
I have to admit, I love. Is it Grud who thinks?
Old Grud.
Old
Grud that smells of piss.
Yeah. He gave me he's given me a really wonderful interaction. It was the first it was the second interaction I'd had with him. The first was as Mac, and he was there, and he came over to threaten me, and then he realised that Lily was there, and he was just like, "Oh, you brought a child." I was like, "Okay, you will survive today." And then he left. I was like, "That was weird." And Zora's just sort of like, she's like telling him to piss off and stuff like that, which was great. And then the second interaction, we were actually going into battle, and he was looking at people and he's going, "You will die. you will die. And he looked at me and goes, you will die twice. And it was just going up and really, I was just like, what the hell? And then I saw him again, and I was saying, I survived, so you were wrong. And he's like, he goes, Dad. He goes, I'll have to make sure you die 4 times next time. And I'm like, wow, lucky me. It was just perfect.
I always had good banter with Ed and all that. Just superb.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of role play with him as well. And yeah, he just let me beat him up in the pit and then take myself off to hand myself back in.
How much was your fine, I have to ask?
They didn't actually take any money off me in the end
No?
because I handed myself in. Yeah. So I was like, quit in because the Iron Tide don't carry no money. So all their money, all their resources goes to their bone setter. So she would go trading and everything else. And Iron Tide Flax, she does she's the smallest one in the Iron Tide, and but probably the most fearsome one. So yeah, she'd if you don't upset her, because she will chase you with a spoon, and it hurts.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So,
9 archetypes.
go on. Let's go.
9 archetypes.
9 archetypes. So, what are the archetypes?
But Danny,
But you just had it! You just had it in front of you!
Okay. It's
Oh my god, you can tell
bonus
you're
set,
from
Oath
Southampton,
Right,
can't you?
Preacher, Reaver, Shaman, Thief Taker, Warcaster, and Warlord.
Sorry, could you repeat that slower this time?
Yeah. Bone Setter, Oathright, Pit Fighter, Preacher, Reaver, Shaman, Thief Taker, Warcaster, and Warlord.
Is it Warcaster?
Mm.
Oh, okay. So that's like the ritualists and stuff like that, I'm guessing.
I never had no dealings with them. I was always pit because of all my training in the past. I've always been the pit fighter, so and then I went to Shaman of the Pit. So
for those in chat who haven't seen any photos of Lee doing his reenactment stuff, it is generally him fighting someone, or it looks like he's has been clapped in irons and has been dragged off somewhere. That's
Well, this weekend I was doing a blind beggar, and I was at Leominster, and then Gladstone Pottery, and I've been bare feet all weekend, and that was so painful. Come the second day, all the salt and all that, and it's absolutely horrendous.
It must have been so cold.
Yeah.
So cold. I hope they were like just filling you up with hot drinks all weekend.
Yeah, we just kept on going back to the room and just quick cup of tea, warm myself up, and back out again. So, but I do a 13th of foot, which is Somerset Light Infantry, blind beggar from the first Afghan War, and basically it's a sham. So I'm actually not blind, and basically I've been a beggar all my life, and but it was so well documented in the newspapers that I could tell the story and get a few halfpence out of people. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's really cool.
Oh.
So another question. So Jazz has asked, I'd love to engage with the orcs I see, but a big in-your-face gang is quite hard to engage with for OC shy people. Is there any way to interact with smaller groups?
If we're out of the nation and we're walking around, we are normally in pairs. So that's normally because you won't very rarely find orcs walking on their own, although they do. And when I started on E4, because I had different ancestors in my head, and I'll just sort of walk and wander about. But 9 times out of 10, I've got another orc like about 10 yards behind me, sort of watching what I'm doing because I was a bit unpredictable. So,
yeah.
But yeah, 9 times out of 10, you'd have them in pairs. So that probably the best option is to speak to an orc in when he's out and about, sort of thing. Because or on the was it Tide of Booze? Yeah, you buy an orca drink, they'll tell you everything you want to know.
Excellent.
or 10.
Or 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I did see someone, but then again, I was with Lily and we were walking in. And I love the interaction at the gate because it's not aggressive, it's confrontational role play, I think is the best way to describe it. They don't want to fight. They're not there to scream and shout at you. They want role play from you. That's all they want at the gate. And it's great to see. So I was there with Lily and they just said, "Yep, in you go." So I'm stood there, and then also Beth was there as well, who was Mac's daughter, and she was just like, and they were like, "No, you're not coming in. It's like you're not armed and all of this." And I was just, and she was just like, oh, "Got to go all the way back to the tent." And I was just like, "No, she's coming in. She's with me." It's like, you can go in. It's like, but she can't come in. She's not armed. And I said, she doesn't have to be armed. I said, she's got a weapon. And she's like, "What's the weapon?" I said, "She's got me. I'm a weapon." And they're just like, yeah. Off we went. There's me feeling like a big bloody hero, and it's just sort of like, well, we've not heard that one before. In you go. It's like, cheers. It was great, but I mean,
I was going to say down to the weapons. It's down to it's the interaction through it. Is because we were once slaves, and we weren't allowed to own weapons. So
Yeah.
every now Imperial Orc will carry a weapon because you can. You know, it's because it's a state of freedom. So they can't understand. We can't understand why you don't carry a weapon. It's like, you know, because you're free. You've never been a slave, so you've been free all your life. So that's why we actually make sure that people are carrying weapons. You know, are you ill? Is there a problem? Why are you not carrying a weapon? You know, and that's the whole interaction of it. Anyway.
yeah, just I don't feel threatened by you. I don't have to bring a weapon with me. Dave's in chat. A up the bleak shield. Well, I'm assuming that's Dave anyway. Yarn's barn. So
Yes, that's you.
there we go. So yeah, I'm so far behind in chat. Oh, that. No, okay. Shut up, Chris. So yeah, I need to take a bit out of the draw of the my mask thinking about it, just a tiny bit restrictive when talking and opening the mouth. Chris says, Olgrud is a menace in Navarre. We should probably stop teaching him blood magic, to be fair.
Oh yeah, don't.
That would our
You know what he's going to cut off next.
Wow. Well, I could suggest some things. So Mark, so you've been playing for a year now, and you I know you've had some great moments, and I know you've had some moments which haven't been that great, and that. So after 1 year, and now you've got your new character and stuff like that, what would be the biggest piece of advice you would give to someone who was getting themselves ready to come in and be an orc?
I don't know. That's a difficult one, to be honest. I mean, the level of kit is incredible. But find your group. Find people that you can interact with easily, like, you know, OC, and it will make your IC experience a lot easier.
Yeah.
They will help guide you. Everyone in the nation is fantastic. You know, they'll help guide you with your kit, help with trimming the mask, making things more comfortable. Yeah, not a bad word to say about any of them. And yeah, that'd be my thing. Read into it, go on the Facebook page, look at the groups. Something sounds like it's for you, contact them, like the leader or someone, and then yeah, go from there. See if you can sort of gel with them OC, because you're going to spend a lot of time with these people.
Yeah, because
In some very uncomfortable moments as well. You know, if you're sweating your ass out and you've got mask on, it's hot, hating life, it's easy for tempers to flare, but if the people you're with, you're having a great time with, it's never an issue.
yeah, because you've got a tent set up, haven't you? Which is just a safer place for you all to go and just remove a mask and.
The Iron Tide do.
Yeah, the Iron Tide.
And when I was a Stormcrow, we had one, but it was open fronted, so you could FaceTime, but you had to be sort of tucked around the corner.
Okay. Okay, that's cool. That's good to know. Okay, so what's your biggest regret then of being an orc? What would you say? Oh, don't do this. Don't have this thought, I suppose, going into it, or
Whatever game plan you end up going in with, just throw it away. Because if you've never been before, you have no idea of the feel for like the nation, for the people. I had great ideas in my head. And I was going to go in with this and that, and this be a bit of role play and everything else. I think after E1, I was just like, I can't do that.
mm,
There is no way I was going to bring like a whip into camp.
no.
You know, as a ex-slave nation, no bloody way. And so it's just that general feel. Like it's not because you wouldn't do it because the adverse role play that you'd get. It's more just I don't know. You kind of respect your nation, like where you come from, the ancestors, and all that sort of thing. That you think I would never. No part of me would bring that in.
Mm,
You know, so it very much brings your way of thinking around very quickly. So whatever game plan you go in with, have little ideas, but
yeah,
don't fully create things because when you get there, it'll all change.
yeah, yeah. I can see that. I remember you talking about the whip quite a lot,
Mm.
of wanting to have one and bringing it in, and yeah, that was.
Yeah.
But it's. I don't feel it was for me or anyone to say no, that won't work. That's not up to us. That's up to you as your character. It was.
I should put it on my Druge kit next time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you wanted to play Indiana Jones at Empire, then great, go for it.
It's a lot more
I
game-
look forward to meeting your next character. That's all I'd say. I think
Yeah.
in that situation. So okay, no, that's really good. That's really cool. I mean, it's like everything is. You never hear really anything negative about the orcs. Even the bad points are a positive, in a way, which is good because I know a lot of people are concerned about the masks and overheating and stuff like that. And
To be honest, with the masks, everyone's sort of experience of it is battle. You're running around like a headless chicken, you're sweating one out. It's not going to work. Like if that's your experience of being an orc in mask, it's completely night and day. What it's like being an orc, just sat around chilling, talking, having a drink.
mm,
I mean, don't get me wrong. There was times at I think E3, it was just unbearable at points, and you're sat inside tent in the shade, just necking water.
mm.
But then sometimes it's almost worse to take the thing off. Just keep it on, grin and
Oh,
bear
yeah.
it, and yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. I mean, you touched on the standards of kit within the orcs as well, and I know that a lot of people are, I say put off, are I think intimidated by the kit standards within your. But I think that's mainly because you need to have all parts of your skin covered.
yeah. I
So
mean, the thing is, no one's going to expect you to come walking in and have a complete kit looking fantastic as a first time orc. You're going to have an idea of where to go, but
mm,
again, let your group, let the nation. There's people in the nation that make things. Let them guide you. Let them help you along the way,
yeah.
and your kit will get there. It's aspirational at the end of the day.
And
So
I've been playing since the very beginning, and my kit is still shit. So it's a very much a case of I still try and I still fail, but I still come back every event, and I still hate all my kit every event. So it's never going to change really. So I mean, and this is coming from a guy who's wearing a Dallas Cowboys Christmas jumper, so I can't really say too much about clothes and things like that. So, but you see everyone's kit there, and it's all phenomenal. I mean, every time I think of the orcs, I always picture the photo of you all going into battle. It's a few years old now, but I think it's the one that's actually PD have put on the wiki as well of the orcs, and it's just all there with the old orc from Lord of the Rings, the Uruk-hai shields and things like that as well, and that look, that's iconic. That is absolutely iconic, that look. So,
I think
but
that picture's all the Iron Tide, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty sure. So, I mean, how do you get inspiration for your kit? because I can't really imagine there being a Pinterest board which just has orc as
Look at
inspiration.
other people's kit. Look at the pictures that are on the Facebook. Talk to other people. People are happy to show you things. You know, I'm sure Leah sit there and showing you your mask, the lamella behind him. You know, as and when he gets bits of kit, you know, he'd be more happy to sit and go, well, this is what mine looks like. Try and follow that.
Yeah.
Different banners. Different banners have different colours. So we're with the Ironside, it's a grey and a red, and Skywise it's like a beige. The beige brigade, and then you got the Blood Crows, and they're like a brown, and then like the new one I'm doing now, it's we're brown and red and things like that. So it's different colours mean different things. So to come in as a basic new orc, it's you just come in your basic sort of kit, like your soft kit, and your group that you joined can guide you into what you put on. And your war skirt, well, when an orc dies, or you get humans giving you bits and pieces, your war skirt gets really heavy. So I worked out that in my soft kit, which is my war skirt and my boots and all that, I was 13 when I weighed it. I'm not 13.5 stone now, but when I weighed it, I was 16.5 stone with my soft kit. That's before I even stuck all my armor on. So then I was 20 odd stone after all the armor and everything. So it gets a bit heavy after a bit.
yeah, that's a bit much, that, isn't it? But it's, I mean, I love the idea of groups and things like that, and I think it's the orcs is one of those nations where you get a lot of people who say, oh, if you want to find a group, come in and play, have a look around and ask and stuff like that. But you can't really do that to an extent with the orcs, can you? You can't turn up as an orc, just walk in and say, hi, I want to join, I'm looking to see who I want to join, because you can do that.
Yeah,
We've had some. Yeah, we've had some that's not come in, like bannerless come in, and people have accepted, set them into their banners. The Ironside, they've got a thing where they you get voted in and you get approved basically. But all the others, they want whether they'll tell you what they need out of certain characters, so you can get it that way.
Okay.
So yeah, you can come in, and there is banners that accept you in. So
Okay. Right, I'm going to go through some questions because I'm quite a way behind in chat now. I'm doing really well, so you wouldn't have thought I've done this before. Shit, this. What are the opinions on different orc masks? I'd love to play an orc as a future character, but sweat loads, as it is. So I feel like I'd have to wear the Mandala Balaclava mask for breathability, but wonder if it would be frowned upon, as I see most players go for latex mostly.
Me personally, I would 100% say Ungerbill, the German company. They are fantastic.
I do, but I know that Monster Mix make a good mask as well. But if you sweat a lot, it's always worth wearing a motorcycle balaclava and just cut the rim off. You can hang it behind your ears. It just keeps the sweat off you a that bit better. There's a couple of them that stick tissue up the nose, because when the sweat runs, it runs into the nostrils and everything else. So they stick tissue up their nose to soak up the sweat. It's quite disgusting, really. But yeah,
I'm glad
you're going to sweat no matter what. So, but yeah, I go Ungabin as well.
You just accept you're going to get sweaty in the mask.
Yeah,
it's going to happen. Deal with it.
So Unga build, Monster Mix,
yeah,
and that. So because I think.
Yeah, Mandala, but I always go to Unga build because I always think that if you pay that little bit more for a mask that fits nicely, you're going to be in it most of the day, so you want something comfortable. Like the monster masks, that we go and use, sort of thing, they don't fit very well. And if that's the impression you get through wearing a mask, no wonder people don't want to wear them. But if you get one that fits nicely, it definitely, yeah, it's still not nice, but it's it's a when they fit, they're a lot better.
I tend to find it's that first 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes of putting it on, it's this is hell, and then after that, it just becomes like your second skin. You almost forget you're wearing it at points until you get really hot, and then you remember again. You remember again real quick.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. How has being an Imperial...
I think the worst bit is.
Go on.
I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
I was going to say the worst bit is taking it off, having a breather, and then you've got to put a cold, wet mask back on. That is probably the worst thing about it.
Yeah.
So that's why it tends to stay on.
Everyone loves putting cold sweat on their face again. It's a hobby. I mean, it is a hobby at the end of the day. Let's face it.
It is a hobby, yeah.
It's not a hobby, but definitely a fetish.
I mean, surely it would be easier just to you take it off and just have a little towel or something. Just give it a mop around on the inside and then put it back on. That would make a lot more sense.
What's the fun in that?
Well, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah,
I mean,
living the dream, mate.
I mean, Lee's just become a sea captain, so it's so Peter's asked.
I'm in the shed. That's why.
But yeah. So I have to say, I mean, I'm sat in my living room at the moment, and it's quite warm. It's nice. Mark is sat in his house, and door open, looks nice and warm. He's got a t-shirt on. Lee is in his shed. What else can you say?
Yeah, it's the quietest place in the whole house.
So
yeah.
Pete has asked, how has being an Imperial Orc compared from your initial thoughts of what it would be like to be an Orc before joining to after having been one in the field? To both of you.
I've only wanted to be an Orc, and that was it. I've not even chose even my next character is still going to be an Orc. I'm afraid. I'm not really doing human. I do that all the time.
You could go lineage.
Yeah, but I've seen the crap that the Briars go through. So nah.
That's wonderful. That's brilliant. Where are you, Mark?
No, with how I thought it would be to how it is, I thought there'd be a lot more confliction between factions and groups and banners, and there isn't. There's actually sort of like a general overall sort of niceness. Every banner's there to help, especially a new player. Every banner's there to help someone new, direct them where. And it's not one of those kind of just because we want you to hoard you and put you to one side. It's no, what's your game? It's going to be this.
Yeah.
Go over there. It's a lot more. I don't know what you'd say the word would be. It's just a lot more connected than what I thought it would be.
So a lot less gatekeeping and more togetherness in a way.
It's less fractious than I thought it would be. I thought between the banners there'd be a lot more, between first and second, and then especially like the hatred towards the Reavers. I was expecting, to basically take some shit when I turned up, and to be honest, I didn't have any.
Well, apart from a little bit of a stag, but
occasionally, yeah. I believe my last words to you before leaving camp were, "Aren't you getting a bit old for this, stag?"
Yeah. And what would I say back to you?
Wow.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. I'm an old Orc.
Good stuff. Yeah. That was a horrific event, really, wasn't it? E4 was. That wasn't fun.
It was for me. It was my best event of the year. For me, I had a great event, but E2 was a write-off because I left on Saturday, and E3 was me trying to get used to a new character. So I hated it. I didn't have fun at all at E3. But E4, everything seemed to fall into place perfectly for me, so I can't complain about it.
Yeah.
But
I just come off of a party with a few mates and turned up to E4, and that was a struggle for me.
mm,
It's kind of one of those drink through it kind of situations. But then when everyone else started dying left, right, and centre, I was like, well, this is it. This is a time for Dag to be done with now. I know where I'm going.
yeah,
And yeah, so he's now set sail away from the Empire. He hates the Empire. He's going to go and try and find Siaka. So that's where
well,
he's gone.
I turned up to Stag's funeral, wasn't allowed in, um, and that I have to admit, even though Cal had no idea who he was in character or anything like that, that was a very much a Steve wanted to say something, because I just, yeah, it was something that hit me quite hard, actually. It's harder than I thought it would do, because Stag is always someone you hear about and that, and then actually getting to do something like that with it was just like really nice, and I didn't want to let it go, as because I know it happens to Mac,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to let it go, and it was really tough. So there aren't many people, there aren't like characters in the game who you think, oh, if they die, they'll have a big impact and stuff like that. But for me, Stag was definitely one of them. Stag was definitely
Oh,
one of them. So
like-
Yeah,
it's
It was
we've had that same conversation before, haven't we, Lee? When I said about when I was looking at Imperial Orcs and looking at that kit and everything else, obviously pictures of Stag stood out, head and shoulders above the rest at points, and obviously I got to meet Lee in the field, and as a person, he's a wonderful person. Stag was an arsehole,
he's all right.
Yeah.
No, his kit was just so on point with stuff. It kind of inspired you to make better kit.
I think that's it, isn't it? I think, oh God, I'm going to be saying, so Lee, put your fingers in your ears. I'm going to say something nice about you. Yeah, you're right. Lee is one of these sorts of people who's very inspirational and always has a nice word to say and is always supportive of people and is very, very positive. And that's why we don't like him.
It's all the fun. I'm an arsehole.
No, you are. No, you are. You're one of the. You're a really good guy. You really, really are. And there are.
Well, all Stag was me turned up to 100. Do you know what I mean? So I got all
Really?
my moody bits and everything else, but at 100, so that was it.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Short term.
Pete is currently picturing orcs with sweatbands on, like 1980s joggers. To keep the sweat out, so that's good.
FaceTime's a bit like that. Is it Eric Perez? Call on me video.
Oh
That's
God,
what we're
yeah,
having FaceTime. Yeah.
yeah, that is orc FaceTime.
Lady pads, that's what you need, just inside your thing. Don't need a sweatband.
No. Liam's asked, are there many traditions and or celebrations the Imperial Orcs have? I only know of one vaguely, which I think was about Worth. It's the Night of Worth.
The Night of Worth. So there's a lot of traditions and everything else, but the Night of Worth is the one that we tend to open the doors of the camp and let the humans come in and see basically what we hold very dear in items that we items of our ancestors or items of fellow orcs who have passed and things like that. So
Or the 12 breaths, the pilgrimage.
yeah, we got the 12 breaths. That's always on E4. Yeah, I didn't make it this year.
Yeah, that's my first one. It was incredible.
Is that the one where you go to other camps? Is it? You're walking
No.
around?
This is the one where we go through the gate.
Okay.
Through the gate onto a pilgrimage, and we get voices from the ancestors and scenes played out to us of things that have happened in the past, and yeah, to explain more to us what's actually happening. So
Okay.
Great experience.
So what was it that happened at E4 then? Because loads of orcs were walking around banging a drum, and they were visiting a lot of nations. And I know there was an incident in Wintermark that happened.
It was the 60 years of freedom celebration.
60 years of freedom.
Yep.
Okay. So is that going to be something
Yeah,
that's is that going to happen every year now? Is it or?
No idea.
No, I don't know. I think it was just something that because it was an anniversary of it, they decided to celebrate it as being the 60 years
Yeah.
of freedom,
Okay.
and went round the nations. And it was more to do with the what different nations think of what the Imperial Orcs think of the different nations, and how we've got along with the nations in the past, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, it was
But
supposed to be.
yeah, we a little bit of conflict in a couple of camps actually. So
Yeah.
There was supposed to be a banner presented at Senate as well, but the Royal Mail was a bit shocking and it didn't turn up in time. It's just here. It was made by one of the old Storm Crows, still a participating member. It was the unification of all the different banners.
Oh wow. That's very cool.
So that was going to be presented to Senate, but again, Royal Mail screwed us.
Nah, you can do it at E1. It still has meaning, and that's all that matters. You make the game what it is. You get out of it what you want, and all of that. So just make an absolute big deal of it at E1, and then kill a load of senators. I mean, present that to a load of senators.
yeah. By the way, it's got venom on it.
But it's okay. So Lee? What would be your advice then for any new player then who's wanting to come in as an orc?
My main thing would be the mask.
Yeah.
Make sure you've got a decent mask,
Okay.
because you spend a lot of time in it. It's one of those things that you've if you spend a little bit of money on your mask and your basic kit, and then you can build up. That's the main thing is the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
and make sure it's comfy.
Yeah. I think I've worn that once. I put it on, it fit, but I've got quite a fat head.
Go on, put it on, Steve.
Put
Put it on. See if there ain't one of us.
I can't hear anyone while I haven't got this on, so. I have to put it on over my headphones. See, it's not going to fit now, is it?
Much better.
So, yeah, it's a bit tight around the chin, but I'm planning on cutting it open anyway.
The only thing I'd say with that is reinforce it before you cut it, and then.
Oh yeah, because otherwise it will just break. And the eyes need to be made a little bit bigger. So, hello. And I'm definitely going to keep my hair on the side like that as well.
No, it looks good, but it's like I say, you just got to cut the mouth then really to suit you.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's it. Something like small one. Some of them don't take the jaw out at all. There's a couple of them that don't. But I do like a bit of freedom and to get the beard out as well. So
Yeah,
It's better to eat and drink as well. Such a big thing, just better eat and drink in the mask.
Yes, I think the jaw definitely needs to be taken out a bit and probably reinforced underneath the chin and that, so I can get everything in. So as I say, I've got quite a big head, and the eyes need to be made a little bit bigger. and then that'll be fine. I should have worn that at the wedding. Cheers, Pete. Funnily enough, I'd say this to everyone. I showed my mum some of the photos from the wedding today, and then she goes, "Oh, I like this photo." I go, "Helen looks so beautiful in this photo." "Oh, look, Steve, you're in it as well."
I will know you're punching, mate. You are punching.
Oh yeah, yeah, massively punching. I really know I'm punching there. She's yeah, I would say so far out of my league, it's unbelievable. But what stuff do you wear under the mask to darken the skin around the eyes, mouth, etc.? Is it just snaz?
The snaz. I've got this other one. Don't ask me what it is. But it's like an alcohol-based one. It's incredible, but you have to prime the skin first.
Yeah, I know the one. I think Kit uses it.
Air Pro or something like that. It's an airbrush one they use for professional stuff. I just sponge it on, but it just doesn't come off.
Yeah. Okay.
I use Prozaid. I use Prozaid and acrylic paint, and that lasts me all day. But it's just around my eyes and my fingers. If I've got my fingers out, I use leather dye. I'm the only one who does, but I dip my fingers in leather dye, and then because I'm a welder, it doesn't matter what my hands look like on Monday morning when I go in.
This is
So
true.
yeah, I always dye my fingers.
Yeah. So, do you get during the really hot events? I have to ask this. Do you get? Is it really obvious when you've been wearing your mask because you've been burnt and stuff like that? So you'll get the tanned lines around the mouth or anything like that.
I haven't personally.
No.
It does wear off a little bit around the eyes sometimes if you wear snaz, but because you put it on normally beforehand, and if the mask fits nicely, it doesn't tend to move really.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
I tried sticking my mask on. I started trying to use spirit gum around the eyes, but I found that was a bit of a bad idea, really.
Yeah, I can imagine. That doesn't sound healthy, that's for sure. Just a big no from me there. So, how much fun is it doing the pit fights for the orcs as well?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. When I was a lot younger, between 18 and 24, I was a professional wrestler. That was my job. I was going to go all over the place and all that. And then being told I can't do it anymore because I'll end up in a wheelchair if I carry on. So I had to change careers and everything else. And then doing pit fights is just like being a teenager again.
Yeah.
So I just don't fall on my knees. So.
Wow. That's yeah. Because I have to admit, that was something I've got my eyes on, is doing something like that, but more yeah, for sure.
It's so much fun. It really is so much fun. And to be honest, like, I find it more fun to lose.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Plus the dramatic things you can do to make someone else look incredible. Yeah, like getting grabbed and then you just leap in the air and throw yourself on your back, and they're like, "Oh, okay," yeah, it's brilliant fun.
And it does sound it. It really does. I mean,
I gave Sam Wheatley his first pit fight.
Oh, okay. How did he do?
Yeah.
He beat you, did he?
Yeah. But it was great fun. He kicked me in the sternum, smacked me up against the wall, and then disemboweled me. So, yeah, it was great fun.
Excellent. That sounds a lot of fun, actually. Because I think when I was chatting to Matt about it all, and I was saying, I quite like the idea of the pit fights and being this just crazy person. I'd like to do a pit fight and have a competitive record in the pit of 0-40 something. So that's 50 fights, no wins.
Yeah.
Just, you're the best one.
Yeah. So yeah, I must admit, it's just that's what Stag would just go off his head and go in there and just turf people out and beat up as many people as possible before he gets kicked out himself. And that was all I wanted to do. But we do training on a Thursday. We got to go through safety briefs because it's also hand to hand, which is not allowed out in the field, but it is allowed in the pit fight. But you've got to turn up to the safety briefs to actually go in and do it. So.
Okay, so because there's a fight that's being planned for E1, not in the pit. So
Okay.
So is it the best people to speak to then about that would be to get some people from the Orcs involved to help and PD?
As long as PD knows what's going on, because that was the only stipulation is it had to stay in the pit, any hand to hand sort of thing. But yeah, just make sure that PD know about it and there's a ref about.
Yeah.
Because there's no hand to hand pit fight goes on without a ref being there.
Right. Okay. Okay. So
We've got our own in the nation, so they're drawn on the yellow and black and then stand there. But they've got to have some sort of presence there where you do it.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. That's good then. That's good because R1 is there's bits of plot that's gone on between two characters, and I've sort of interjected and I've threatened to beat the shit out of someone basically, and the long and short of the fight is I think he's going to throw one punch and then the rest of it's me beating him up. So it would be very, very quick because obviously as my winter mark I've got a reputation to keep. So so I'll contact PD about it and that. I mean, I suppose the only other way I could do it is contact the Orcs and have a chat with them. I see.
Yeah.
And say, yeah, we want to do this in the pit. Do it properly that way as well.
Well, Sammy, which is Ashbourne Ball. He's the pit master, so he actually runs the pits. So you have to, if you're going to talk to him IC, then you have to talk to him, talk to Ball. If not, it'd be Sammy. So
yeah, that's Orc Planet, Sammy.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Or Scarlett Johansson, as I was taken to calling him when I was chatting to him, because when I did the fundraiser for Andy, we were chatting about him, and we had a picture of him, and I was like, oh, look at those eyes, Scarlett Johansson. So he just became Scarlett Johansson for me. So I'm sure he'll appreciate me telling you this. Love a good fun scrap. Seconds losing being the most fun. Need to work on Orc gloves next for monstering. Thinking about it. Yeah, so I think a lot of people. I mean, how many people in chat would want to come back as an Orc as their next character or character after that? I'm curious now. Quite curious. So, for you two then, if Orcs were not an option for you, what nation would you go into?
Ruska. I like the dark side of Verushka. I like all the stories. It just does it for me. So.
I could see you being the guy who sits around the fire telling all of these creepy stories to everybody. It's like, this is why you don't leave the road, and this is why we do the warding and all of this sort of stuff. I could see you doing that, really. Get you a nice big walking stick and all of that sort of stuff.
Nice big fur hat, big coat.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Definitely seeing
that one moment with a breeze actually on your skin for once.
Yeah.
That'd be cold.
Things are dreams.
But you must love it in the rain though, having the Orc mask on and everything like that. If it's pissing down with rain, that must be great.
I don't know, everyone's sitting there going, it's raining then. Is it?
You could hear it, but you can't feel it because even with the Iron Tide, you can the big leather coats as well, the big waistcoats, and you just can't feel it. You just know that you're just getting a bit moist around the edges.
No comment. Oh dear. Liam says,
Oh, we weren't talking about this.
Yeah. Liam said I'd be down for sure. I think the plan would for me to monster a few times to get used to the mask a bit more, but definitely. Alex has said if I die as a Mortarian, I will be coming back as an orc.
Cool.
So there's definitely people there. That's really. I mean, I like the fact that mine is sort of like it's there, but it's just sort of like I'm just waiting, and then as soon as I get the nod, I'll be doing it. Circuit says I really like the nation, but would have a lot of factors to consider doing it practically, etc. Coming into Empire at E1, seeing Imperial Orc players, I've got so much respect for them as I see it as a hardcore nation in terms of kit, especially. There's a lot of love for you guys out there. Do you get that? Do you get that feeling in the field? That
yeah,
you
do. And I think for both of us as
yeah.
well, we've never played anything else other than Imperial Orcs.
No. In fact, when I had an issue on one skirmish, and I think that was E2, and I ripped Stag's face. I had to get the mask off quick, and I ripped it through the nose and everything else. So I went as a human, and I just walking around, just for a bit, and I felt incognito. I didn't know what, you know what I mean. It's just like I'm just another human here. It's strange because as soon as you put the mask on, you're identified as an orc, and you stay as it. You know what I mean? It's part of, but yeah, it's strange. So.
It is that sort of instant moment. As soon as that mask goes on, you know that bit at the end of getting to the Greek, that sort of, it's just you're straight into character, and everything about it, your walk, your talk, your everything just becomes that character straight away.
No.
It's quite an incredible sort of feeling, really, because you start figuring you have your own walk that you wouldn't normally do, and your way of saying things and doing things, you just start becoming this character out of nowhere.
Yeah.
For no other reason than you can't hear or you can't see properly or something else.
Yeah.
Or your war scat's rubbing just in the wrong way, so it gives you a slight limp.
The chub rub is real.
Actually, that's a bit of an advice. If you get the war scat, you're making out of a hero belt, make sure it's bloody comfortable, like sitting down and moving around in. Because that bugger will rub.
I've recommend they've recommended me these boxer short type pants to wear. So yeah, to help with the chub rub. That's chub rub is real, everyone. It really is.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
War skirts, they chafe.
Yes. So
I wear cotton cycling shorts. That's what I wear. And it just saves any chub rub.
Yeah.
Especially with baggy trousers.
Just drink through the pain. It helps.
Bubblegum, real aspiration for being an Imperial Orc, just not there yet. Pete says, I wear them, really comfy anti-chafe. Shorts underneath everything for the win. Because when I started Empire, I used to wear my old goalkeeper shorts, so I had padding on the side as well. So because when you're fighting and that, because we used to do 4 big battles an event instead of the 2, because it was a 4-day event rather than the 2.5 days. 2 days really, isn't it? So I used to wear goalkeeper shorts because they were down to my knees, they were tight, and they had padding on the side. So when you go down and you take a tumble and stuff like that, because you're getting hit, you don't really feel it. It was so I recommend them as well. They work quite nicely. So, but right. So, do we have any final questions in chat? Any final questions in chat? I've actually caught up with chat now. It only took an hour and 20 minutes. I'm not very good at this. But I'll have to get you on for a crafting stream at some point, Lee, just so you can go through. Jodhpurs, very comfy, to be honest, as well.
Yeah, Yeah.
Making a hole in the ears for hearing in the mask. Any advice from Pete?
Find out where your ears
Um,
are.
yeah. Well, with the Ugabit, they have got holes in them, but it's normally there's a balaclava bit there, and with these Ugabin ones, but the Mandela ones, I think you've got to make your own hole. Just go very careful with a pair of nail scissors, little fine scissors, and just cut it out gently.
Well, I don't know
It,
about your mask, but when I put mine on, the old one, the ear hole would be up here somewhere. So
oh, okay.
mine would be halfway down the head if I'd done it.
Yeah, I have no hole. No hole whatsoever. And we'll sing Happy Birthday to Liam if people donate some bits. How's that? So Liam happily turned 12 today.
Oh, did he?
He's a big boy today.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Liam.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Liam.
Birthday to
Happy
you.
birthday to
Happy
you.
birthday.
Jazz hands. There you go.
I finished those bits.
No, got some bits after the. Thank you, Bubblegum. I appreciate it. But happy birthday, Liam, mate. Happy birthday to you. I do fully act like a child. This is true. Oh, more bits from Jazz as well.
Don't we all?
That was almost as bad as the Marchers singing a song. Yeah, that puts their music it makes their music sound amazing. I bet.
Have you ever heard the Tide of Booze singing "Fuck You, I'm Drunk"? It's an incredible rendition.
Oh yeah, I love doing it. I love that song. And thank you, Jazz. That was all you had. Thank you so much. I sang that for the first time in the field with the Orcs when Matt got separated from everyone else because I went for a wander, as I do during the battles, and I turned up alongside the Orcs and they were on their own on the left flank in the field, and it was all the Jotun were just marching towards them, and they sang that. Instead of getting into a line, getting ready to have a fight, they sang "Fuck you, I'm drunk," and I was just like, I can get behind this. I really enjoyed this, and that was a lot of fun. And then when they finished, and the Jotun were like, I don't know, 20 meters away from us, that was when I didn't know we were charging because I'm stood there laughing, and then all of a sudden they all just went. They just knew it, and they all just went. And I was like, okay. And then I charged it afterwards. So there's little dumpy me, like 10 feet behind the Orcs as they're charging in. And it was great fun. It was a lot of fun. But I've never heard... You hear singing in the battles, but you never hear singing like the Orcs do when they're fighting in the battles. And that was an experience.
You're coming to work alongside the Iron Tide, aren't you?
Yeah. I've so if the Orcs and Wintermark fight, it's find out in play on that one. But it's consider it a football loan. That's pretty much what it is. It's it's wonderful, and I had no say in getting it arranged, but it's a really good idea. I'm guessing it would be IC chat, so fully understand if it cannot be answered. But do many Imperial Orcs use the Unshackled Gift Potion sets, or is there any need for it? I assume these are the potions that are just purely for the Orcs.
The Orc specifics.
Yeah.
They've become more popular in the last couple of events, I'd say.
Hmm. Okay.
I've never had one.
No. Well, I have drugs that the Orcs will love. I know that much. Because I've got the drugs that 2 Orcs have to take it at the same time. Because they can talk. They can talk to their ancestors through this drug.
Carry on.
And you need a second person there. So one person does it and gets it, but wants to go with them, and the other person is there to bring them back. Because if you take it with one of you, don't know what happens, but I'm assuming it's bad. I'm assuming it's very, very bad.
across the abyss or
Wow.
fall into it.
Yeah. See, because when I've done the Imperial Orc streams before, the abyss is a topic that comes up a lot, but I've deliberately avoided it because I've experienced that conversation in the field. If anybody wants to talk to the orcs about the abyss and the ancestors, do it in the field. I don't want to talk about it here.
Yeah.
Do it in the field
No.
because that roleplay
Yeah.
is phenomenal.
It's a nice little bit game.
Really is, really is, and I've got a firm rule on. Yeah, there's a lot that I won't talk about. I don't allow it on the Discord. Don't want to talk about it ever anywhere because you need to find this stuff out in the field. So always find out in play. And
if you want a deep emotional conversation, ask what happens to an egregore, an orc egregore.
Ask Grud the Elder what.
No. Ask a shaman or something like that. What happens if
Yeah, don't ask old crud.
I will always recommend everybody goes and talks to Grud because he's great. He's great.
He really is, yeah. They both are. I mean, with our egregores, both of them are fantastic for what they do. They guide you. They make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
Especially new players in masks and all that. They will check on you, make sure, or if you're just standing around on your own, they'll come and check on you, make sure everything's okay. So they are really good, and it'll also give you a bit of game as well. Where
I will say I've had a wonderful out of character moment with Grud as well, and because it's common knowledge. I talk about mental health and stuff like that on stream all the time anyway. So Saturday nights for me, because I don't look after myself when I'm in the field at all, ever, because I'm an idiot. So Saturday night, but anywhere between 7 o'clock and 10 o'clock, that's my wobble time, and I will have to walk away from everything. And I did it, and I was sat at the crossroads near the Senate, and I was just sat there because no one was there, and I just went off, and it was dark, and I sort of sat on the old wooden boxes that was just there, and I was thinking, right, good, I can just sit here and watch everybody now and be in peace. And then I saw Grud walking down, and I was just like, oh no. I thought he'll come over. I thought he'll just come over, and I'll have to tell him just to leave me alone. And he wandered over, and he was just sort of like, so I see you over there, and he came and just sat there, and I'm just looking. Sorry, and I was just looking at him, and he just goes, you're gonna, yeah, we're not in character, are we? And he just stopped. He's like, you're right. I was just like, not really. He gave me a bit of a drink. He's just sort of like, just take 5. And told me a little story about something fun that had just happened to him. And he just sort of gave me a hug and then just wandered off and he's just like disappeared into the night. And I was just sort of like,
yeah,
bastard, you've cheered me up. How dare you? And it was just a really, really nice moments.
Chris would do the same. Do you know what I mean? They're both actually superb for what they do. In fact, I think every egg or throughout the whole game are put in that position that they're willing to help anyone really.
Yeah.
They are really good.
Choppy U20. Hello, which orcs do we have? Sadly, I can never recognise you without the masks.
Right, so I was Iron-Tide Stag. I haven't got my mask. It's been nearly destroyed because all the hair's out of it and all done for tributes and everything else. But I had white markings on my face. It looked like stag antlers upside down. But now I've got a new character, and I'm gonna be, because I died at E4. I'm gonna be Bleak Shield Umok.
There you go.
Your turn, Mark.
And I was Stormcrow Dag. This one.
There you go. That's cool. So Bleak Shield Umok.
Yes.
Okay.
I've got a nice backstory as well. We'll leave that for the field. So if you want to catch up with me, and I could tell you all about where I come from, what's happened, and everything else. So
nice.
Yes, I like talking.
Pete's asked, did Dag die?
No, he is sick of the Empire for all the losses that the Orcs took, and decided to just sail off into the sunset and find Siaka.
Nice. It's a good end. That's a good end. I mean, if is that how you wanted it to go, or
Yeah, I never saw him really dying. He wasn't a real fighter. He was a trader, a lover of life, bit of a scallywag. So it was kind of like, nope, sail off into the sunset and just do your thing. But it's the next character is the real bit in my teeth at the moment.
yeah?
Yeah, really looking forward to letting that loose in the field.
Chubby, I play a freeborn. I was the one running around with the Raikana puppet at E4. I don't know what Raikana is.
No, I've seen this. Yeah, it was Grauker's partner.
Ah, right.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
His
I know.
first Legion General.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Um,
It was brilliant.
I remember him popping into the coast one of the late nights, I think E3 or 4, having a drink and singing along to silly songs. Sounds about right. That sounds right about Dag, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean, my drinking meetings with Mark were never in character. It was always at about 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday.
More like 4 or 5.
More like 3, 4, 5. Yeah, true. And that it was almost like clockwork at most events when it's that sort of time and everyone's gone to bed and I've got the fire going and it's just me with a beer, and I was just like, yeah, it's about that time. Oh look, there's Mark wandering over. It was nice. It was always nice and chill because that sort of time must be wonderful in the Orcs when it's out of character and people have sort of left and you're on your own there and you can take the masks off and everyone's just sat down around the fire chilling, I'm guessing.
To be honest, we leave the mask on a lot of the time at that time in the morning.
Do you?
It's nice and warm.
I guess so, yeah.
People go, it's time out when you're sat there at like 1 in the morning or whatever with your mask on. And you go to lift it off and go, nah. It's better with, especially at E1, that might be cold.
I don't normally make it that far. I'm an early riser, so
Yeah.
I'm the one that's up 5 o'clock in the morning making coffee for everyone who's up.
I'm the one rising off the bench at 5 in the morning to go to sleep.
No, that's awesome. So normally I like to go for an hour on these streams. We've been going for an hour and a half. We've done
Oh, cool.
so it's been absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, don't leave chat or hang up or anything like that because we'll finish the stream and have a little chat afterwards because I need to ask for some advice on something. I don't know if anyone's streaming or not. I don't know if anyone's. No, that was me looking at my own stream there. That was rather sad of me. Looks like Digby. So Digby is currently doing a fundraising for Jingle Jam, and he's raised about, I think he's over 15 grand at the moment. So he's done an absolute phenomenal job there. So
Well done,
Yeah, man.
so yeah, go £15,197 is what he's at, and I think he now has to do a hot tub stream.
Right.
So yeah, he has done really well. So thanks everybody for watching. Mark Lee, thank you so much for coming on. I really do appreciate it. Go and
really enjoyed it.
go and give some love to Digby, and yeah, he's done a phenomenal job. So thanks everyone. You all take care. Lazy Bay.
Right.
Right. They